Hi, I'm Courtney Spears, and for my term project, I chose to talk about the 1931 China floods. Okay, so in the year 1931, central China experienced a devastating flood that swamped an area that was close to almost the size of England and some of Scotland. It affected the lives of an estimated 52 million and killed as many as 2 million. At the time, this was one of the worst natural disasters in history. We also see it as the highest death toll at the time. The rivers involved were the Hung, which is also known as the Yellow River, and the Yangtze River. The Yangtze River runs through southern China, one of the most populated areas on Earth. This population depended on the river for water, for their personal and farming needs. The Yellow River is the country's second longest river, surpassed only by the Yangtze River. In the last 2,000 years, the Yangtze River has flooded more than 1,000 times, but it is the Yellow River that has been responsible for China's most catastrophic floods. Westerners have dubbed it China's sorrow because of the centuries it has killed. So when we look at this event, we can see that it was both a natural and human-made disaster. The winter of 1930 to 31 had been harsh and had left large deposits of snow and ice in the upper catchments of both of these rivers. The frozen reservoirs melted in the spring and then added to the unusually heavy rains, which caused rivers and lakes to grow and the water table to rise. The area also experienced far above average rainfall, and it continued into July when severe rains came again. In the summer, these powerful monsoons caused multiple cyclonic storms to take place. In 1931, there were 7 in July alone, which was far greater than the average. During these periods of excessive rainfall and poor hydraulic governance, rising water and neglected dikes allowed rivers and lakes to reclaim the plains that had been occupied. The high salt content of the river also caused millions of tons of yellow mud to choke the canal, and this caused the river to change its course. The excessive deforestation, wetland reclamation, and overextension of river dike networks transformed regular floods into destructive overflows, which brought chaos to the surrounding communities. And it also caused the Yangtze River to flood over a 500 square mile area, driving out 500,000 people from their homes around August. During this period, money that was meant for the construction and maintenance of these dikes was often redirected for military spending because of the rebellions, war, and political instability. An estimated 150,000 people drowned during the first phase of the flood. It washed away the summer harvest and destroyed huge amounts of stored grain. The total economic losses were equal to 1.5 years' net income per family. In many areas, flooding continued into autumn, making it impossible to plant a secondary insurance crop in the winter. It caused the value of labor, land, and draft animals to plummet and the price of grain to rise. Major cities such as Wuhan and Nanjing depended on this rice, and without it, people began to starve. In these flooded communities, disease was by far the deadliest hazard. Population displacement and the destruction of sanitation systems created the perfect conditions for pathogenic microbes to be created and spread. These floods covered more than 30,000 square miles and killed more than 300,000 people and left 40 million more homeless. In the end, the death toll was almost 2 million. When we look at this event, we are able to see that there could have been prevention. Much of the disaster may have been averted if flood control measures had been followed closely. The Yangtze River carries large amounts of sediment, which accumulate in certain areas of the river and must be cleared regularly. However, with much of the area's resources devoted to war at the time, the river was neglected. While the natural occurrences at this time would still have caused these rivers to flood, the damages and lasting effects would have been far less if problems by man hadn't occurred. Thank you for watching.